Hi, how's it going? This is Resident of Collinwood for YouTube back with another Dark Shadows video for you guys and gals. I'm getting this one up for tomorrow. This is my House of Dark Shadows character retrospective. It's a continuation of the Dark Shadows movie character retrospectives. Still on House of Dark Shadows, that is. The first Dark Shadows movie. If you guys don't know that, I'll remind you of it till I'm blue in the face. Um, this is Jeff Clark, played by actor Roger Davis. Now, I want to get the similarities and differences out the way here. As I've told you guys, none of the Dark Shadows movies are canon to the series. House is not. House of Dark Shadows isn't. Night of Dark Shadows isn't, and the 2012 Dark Shadows movie isn't. Though I can't wait to get into that one, especially that one. I'm gonna somewhat yell out a bit. Maybe not yell. I might raise my voice. um, for a different reason. I'll get into why. Uh, when I do it, when I do that movie. But the characters you see in the movie, well, the actors and characters, they're playing characters that they somewhat played in the series, at least from a namesake that they played in the series. But a personality standpoint, does it differ? Jeff Clark is one you could say, well, really doesn't completely differ, but I would say it does to a large degree because this Jeff Clark knows who he is. He knows what he wants. Not that the Jeff Clark in the series didn't. He won at Victoria Winners, but he didn't know who he was. He didn't know if he was Peter Bradford from the past or Jeff Clark or if he murdered somebody. He didn't know that. He had to find that stuff out in the series. Um, Again, with a movie, you're not going to get character development. At least from a deep aspect, you're going to get enough to tell you this is this character's name, this is why they're here, and that's it. A lot of the times, and really, that's Jeff Clark in a nutshell. In this movie, Roger Davis first and foremost does a really great job with this character for what he's given, because he's not given much in throughout the movie. At times, he's not even in this movie, and he's supposed to be the main protagonist. He's your hero of this movie, which is interesting. An interesting and bold move by Dan. Do I agree with it? I want to say this first and foremost before I get into the character retrospective and before I say what I'm going to say. I fully respect everybody who was ever a part of Dark Shadows. This is not to knock any one person or anybody who directed Dark Shadows, wrote it. I love Dark Shadows to death. I really do. But and I really really get going for the person you least likely expect to save the day, because here's the thing, that was a trend. That did become a trend after this movie, really. Like, everybody, there's a ton of kind of heroes. There's a superhero, there's the reluctant hero, there's the anti-hero, but then there's that guy who you go, wow, I didn't expect him to save the day. I didn't expect him to rise to the occasion, and he does. That's Jeff Clark's character. That's Roger Davis's Jeff Clark in this movie. He is somebody who you don't expect to rise to the occasion, but he does. And I want to just say that though I get that message loud and clear in this movie. It's one that I can't say I'm a complete fan of, and especially in this movie, because I've talked about this too at the beginning of this video. Nothing is canon to the series. You can do whatever the hell you want with any of these characters all the little long day. And I do mean any. Literally, you can do whatever the hell you want. I really, here's who I'll give the credit to. Obviously Sam Hall wrote it, Dan Carter's helped write it, Gordon Russell stuff. But let me just say this: I give a lot of credit to Roger Davis and what he was able to bring out of his character near the end of this movie. But let me get into my character retrospective before I get too far off the beaten path here. You really meet Jeff Clark after Daphne's attack. Is is a Daphne is attacked, um, and Daphne's driving back up to the house, and after she's attacked, and then you see she gets out the car, you see her, and you hear Roger Davis's Jeff Clark yell, "Daphne, Daphne!" He can't believe what he's seeing. She's lost a lot of blood. Obviously, she's attacked by a vampire. Then he goes to the old house because he realizes his girlfriend, played by Catherine Scott, Maggie Evans, who I already did a retrospective on, went there to look for David. And David's back in his room, so where's my girlfriend? Um, he finds her locked up in a room, and she says, David was at the door scaring me. He's like, no, that can't be. I found David a while ago in his room. I caught him sneaking back into his room. So right away you're getting the sense of, okay, this guy, he cares for Maggie. He's her girlfriend. And I like that because again, you could be setting up anything, especially with Barnabas. Do I understand why they wrote him, somewhat? They didn't write him out of the movie, but there's a big chunk of the movie he's just not in. And here it comes too. After the ball. Carolyn's been bit. I'm gonna get him, and by the way, that's who I'm doing next. Carolyn's been bit. She's under Barnabas's control, if you will. Um, and they're at the party that Roger and Elizabeth throw. And despite the attacks, and Gus make mention of it too. Um, this is the most life and most bodies you'll ever see in a Collinwood until you watch the 2012 Dark Shadows movie. It really is. Um, just a grand party, right? Which is cool. Which is really, really cool. And then you have a really interesting aspect of, here's, and again, I'm not trying to give away too much from character standpoint, but I gotta mention this because Jeff Clark, Roger Davis's character, sees this go on. He's sort of watching as Barnabas is, flirting with Maggie. And I'm thinking of us, and Carolyn gets jealous, obviously. I I do get the fact that Roger Davis sort of pulls her away to to go do stuff, to go get a drink and stuff. And I get that's a great saving move, but I sort of wish as he's pulling her away, he sort of steps to Barnabas, and I wish he would have whispered in Barnabas's ear, "Hey, buddy, that's my girlfriend, not yours." Something. You don't. It doesn't have to be a lot, but something to let me know that Jeff Clark isn't just going to lie down here and take stuff from Barnabas. Um, he you got to know that it doesn't take a rocket scientist to see that Jonathan Fritz Barnabas has got it bad for Maggie, and we all know he sees her as Josette, but still, they don't know that yet. But still, um, where I really enjoy Roger Davis's character is, and this is where he really, really, I love this because he shines all the way. He's waiting for Roger. He gets woke up by a sailor who's played by the actor who played King Johnny Romano, and he says, "Mr. Collins told you to meet here." And he meets Professor Stokes, there David's character in the movie, and lo and behold, Professor Stokes has been turned into a vampire. He's got the fangs. They have a wrestling match on the ground. Roger Davis's character wins. Um, stake through the heart, obviously, branch to the heart, whatever you want to say. Um, really, I love this because this lets you know this little wrestling match on the ground lets you know that it's all up to Roger Davis as Jeff Clark now. Um, Stokes is a vampire, Roger's a vampire, then Roger Davis who Jeff Clark stakes Roger Collins, so he's taking care of two vampires. Now he's got to take care of the head honcho. We don't know where David is. We presume he's dead, but we don't know where he is. To be clear, David's never officially his if he's dead, if he dies, his death is not seen on screen. I just want to be very clear about that too. That's something that needs mentioned here. So Elizabeth probably dies of a dies of a heart attack, or if not, she moves. I mean, she's had a lot of shock. Her daughter's death, obviously, which I'll get into with Carolyn when I do Carolyn sometime. So I really, I also like when Jeff Clark Roger Davis goes to the wedding of Barnabas and Josette, and he he comes and he sees there, and Barnabas sees him, and he says, "Jeff Clark, come to me." So now Barnabas is mind controlling Jeff. I'm gonna repeat this line when I do when I do Jonathan Fritz Barnabas Collins, because it's my favorite line in the whole movie. Every wedding needs a witness, and you will be witness to this. It is so good. It is so good. My God. What a line by Jonathan. He just nails it. Um, Willie comes through with the assist in staking Barnabas, and Jeff Clark helps push it in. So we have Barnabas laying there, and Maggie is now free of Barnabas's spell. Um, the vampire is dead. um, Sorry for the spoiler alert, but still, really, that's where I really love Roger Davis's character the most, because it feels like if you're looking for redemption, this is it. This is where the character really redeems himself. So that's what I will give the writers and Dan, that they did redeem the character in every way by having him fight these obstacles to get Maggie back. And if that's what they were going for, they definitely nailed it out the park. I can't say that was what they were going for, but if it was, they nailed it. They definitely nailed that, and I appreciate it very, very much so, because I appreciate Roger Davis's sub his performance. That is my. I don't think I've missed anything. That is my Jeff Clark character retrospective. Carolyn Collins Stoddard is next, folks. Not tonight, sometime tomorrow, probably. This is going to be put up for tomorrow, so probably sometime tomorrow I'll record Carolyn for you guys. I hope you guys have a great Michael Myers Monday. Hope you've enjoyed your weekend over the weekend. It's cool. It's always fun to hang out with your kids. Me being a dad, so um, you guys have a great day, or sorry, great night. It's night where I'm at. But peace.